morning. Okay, it says we're live. So we're doing a pace today. The longer workouts, there's always the 20 minutes and a 45-minute option. The pace, we're going to start with cardio. We're doing cardio for 12 minutes with the little break in between. The warm-up, it's going to be your 20 minutes. Then we add some strength at the end. So if you can only do the first part now, then you can come back and do the last part later. Just make sure you do a little warm-up before you jump right away into some strength exercise, okay? So you're gonna need, for the first part, just a wall or the floor. So there'll be two options. If you don't have a wall close by, you can have a chair. We can do a modification for that with the chair as well. But if you have a wall, we'll use that. And that's it. So, and your yoga mat. So on bare feet, I do have a 2-inch foam floor, so just make sure that you're wearing the appropriate footwear depending on the floor that you're on. All right, so we're gonna get started. Make sure you have your favorite music playing in the background. The weights and the elastic we're gonna need only for the strength part. So feet under your hips, and you're just gonna lift up one foot off, one heel off the ground, and down. And you're ready? That's awesome, Cameron. Bonjour. You're gonna alternate. Good, let's find our balance on one leg. I want you to even out your hips, so make sure you're not sinking here. Pulling up, you're not hiking up your hip either. So just bending the knee and then little circles. If balance is an issue this morning, touch down to reset. Make sure you're not relaxing when you're touching down, so you're just touching the toes to help your brain reset, and then go again. Good, let's switch side. Unlock the knee you're standing on, up nice and tall, because I know I'm making you work on balance first thing in the morning. So, one more. This is a great way to start a great day, by the way. You'll be full of energy after. Feet a little wider than your hips. You're gonna bend your knees, you're gonna give me some circles. So here I'm doing big circles. Whenever you're going forward, I don't want you to sink into your low back. So you're just sending the hips forward a little bit to get that movement, but there's no pinching into the low back. Let's go the other direction. Good. And bonjour, Rita. I love it when I know who's there. So bend the knees, relax. And I know you can't always chat on the YouTube, so it's okay if you can't tell me that you are there. You're going to rotate your shoulders. You're going to give me bigger circles now. So I want you to go forward, then up and back. Again, no sinking in the low back here, engaging your abs. Good, let's relax here for a second. Let's go the other direction. So start little. And you're doing bigger circles as you go, but you're not working really hard. I don't want you to feel pain or pinching anywhere. You're just kind of testing to where you can go. Good, and now relax those shoulders. Let's bend the knees. Give me just one arm up and down just to relax here. Let's do the other arm just a little bit. Good. And we're going to do a little bit of a little bit more shoulder, arms up. Lengthen your core. Rotate a little further. Switch side. Rotate, one forward, one back, little further. Center. Rotate, little further. Center one more time. Rotate, little further, and center. Rotate your wrists. So I have modification options, different options for the exercises. Do the one that works for you today. Go the other direction. So if you have shoulder pain or knee pain or wrist, do the variation that works for you, that keeps you out of pain. It's not worth it to push through it, and relax. Good, move those shoulders. You're going to do tap jacks. Feet under your hips, you're going to tap it out to the side. So here, the middle is always a little bent, okay? But I'm not sending it forward here. You're just staying right over your feet, pressing into the heel in the middle. Good, now let's add our arms. So lifting up, to shoulder height. I just want you to think up to shoulder height. You're going to think about elastic from the middle, pull, pull, pull. Warming up the shoulders a little bit more. Arms up to the front, pull. So I'm not sinking here to the low back, you're just pulling back. Shoulders are down. Good, we're going to bend our elbows. Bend, bend. Good, then we're going to bring our arms up just above our thighs and keep your elbows bent, pull. Perfect, last one, and relax a little bit. So 4 exercises, we're doing them twice each for 4 minutes total. So 30 seconds each exercise, and I want you to start at 50% of what you can do for your first one. So I'll give you some cues on how to pace that out, and I'm going to count for 10 seconds when we're done. Excuse me, we're going to count for 10 seconds. I want you to count your heartbeat and just write it down. And then I'll let you know what we do with that after. All right, so if you have a yoga mat, you're going to use that as a reference. So you're going to go wider than your yoga mat, and you're going to walk 2, 3, 4, legs in, narrow, run back. So you go sideways. I want you to have a little incline forward. Wide, 2, 3, 4, center, lifting those heels up, you're at that little incline forward. So if not, I'm going to run and I might trip on my own heels or on my phone. So make sure you have this space here. So because when you're going back, I don't want you to have to worry about tripping on stuff, so make sure you have a clear space. Then we're doing this side touch with a reach. So there's no pause in between. We're going to go straight from one to the other, nice and wide. You're going to touch your knee and up. Touch your knee, up. So you're landing, toes ball to foot, heel. Hips are going back, the knee's not going forward. Hips back, then you're reaching up. Now when you're reaching up, you're not sinking into that back, but I want you to engage the whole set of muscles between your heel and the top here. So shoulder, back, glute, leg. Everything is engaged so that you can reach up for that top shelf. Bring it back. I know this is just one side. When we go through it again, we're going to do the other side. Then we're doing rebounder. So you're going to think Highland dancing, up nice and tall, heels in front. So you can walk those or jump. I'm going to add the arms. The arms are going to be down here for the first one. So you have the option to walk or jump them. And then the wall. So we're going to use the wall or the floor. Here I'm going to have my 2 hands on the wall, little incline back. I'm going to push my wall away. I'm just going to keep pushing on the wall. If you don't have a wall close by, if you have to walk too far for it, just forget the wall. You can go on the chair or on the floor. I have stuff on all the chairs here. My husband's a little demanding. He wanted a workout. I set it up for him. So, okay, so hands down. So here, you're gonna do some runners here and pushing down on the chair to simulate that wall. Don't push it forward because you're gonna get the chair to disappear. Or you can go on the floor and do the same thing here. I like the wall, it's a little different, but that's different option. So I'm going to give you the no impact to start, and then we'll get going with a little bit more. Again, you do what you can for today. All right, 30 seconds each. It goes by pretty quickly. All right, so we're going to start with our wide forward. I'm going to go towards you. Feet wider than just the width of your yoga mat. And let's walk, 2, 3, 4, center. And you're walking it or jogging it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, center. Nice and light. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're 50%. Think if you have to do that for the next 30 minutes. So we're going at a pace. That is okay. I'm not out of breath. I can talk to you the whole time and it's okay. All right, let's go to that side touch. So nice and wide. Your right arm down to your left knee, and then up. Again, toes bone of foot heel, touching the knee, up. Make sure you're not touching the knee here. I want you to keep your core nice and engaged, straight. Toes bone of the foot heel. We're going pretty slow, engaging here, a little balance. Good, and bring it in, and we're doing rebounders. So up nice and tall, heels in front. Again, we think we have to do rebounders for the next 20 minutes. So we're gonna go slow enough that we can keep moving those legs. Arms up. Now make sure here that the hips are not going. Think Holly dancing, nice and tall. From your hips and up, the hips are not going side to side. Your arms are going to shoulder height. Make sure you're not here. All right, let's bring it to the wall or the floor or the chair. Hands on the wall, and you're inclined back, and you're pressing. And you're walking it here. Press the wall. So you can go on your fist. If you have any issues with your wrist, going on your fist. You're looking just in front of you. I'm not looking at my feet, just in front. And bring it back to that wide walk. So nice and wide leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. Center, little jog back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Center, little jog back. 2, 3, 4. Lift your feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're lifting those feet up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Let's go to that side touch. So your left hand to your right knee, press into the heel, no pain here, and up. So you can go just a tiny, tiny bend. If you have pain in your knee, focus on the extension. Just a tiny bend, reach. Don't throw yourself over. Use the arm a little bit, but you're using that leg to propulse you. So there's a little tiny momentum. Back to center. Rebounders, legs in front. Up nice and tall. So you're tapping your heel. I'm not flinging my knees around. Just tapping the heel. Arms. Up nice and tall. Watch the shoulders. So shoulders are engaged. Looking up. Good. If you have your wall, you can rebound your way to the wall. This is our last one here. And pressing against the wall. And you're pushing. So eyes are just in front here. You're pushing. I'm going to adjust the camera after. So you're either on your hands. I want you to press to your finger as well if you have your hands on the wall. Or you're on your fist. Either one is where it works well. Pressing against the wall. Or use the chair. You're walking here, pressing the wall away. And relax. Shake it out. I'm going to ask you to find your heartbeat, and we're going to count for 10 seconds. So I find just here under the neck or here. If you have a Fitbit, you can use that. Get ready. Count. Stop. So take note of it, or remember, I want you to think about increasing that by 1 or 2 in the next round. So some people start at 18, some people start at 24. So depending where you are, and it doesn't matter, don't compare it to your neighbor, just compare it to you for what you do. Sorry, I know the camera is moving. I'm going to try and get my wall in. Okay. Perfect. That should work. Okay. So we're going to do round 2. Now that we know the movements, I'm going to increase the speed a little bit. So you do what you can again. Don't have to follow me with the speed. Do not compromise your form for the speed. All right, let's get going. Wide forward, narrow back. Okay, so I'm going to go sideways here, nice and wide legs. We're going to go forward in 4 seconds and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Narrow back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Narrow. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're a little faster than me, that's okay. Just make sure you're at about your 70%. So if you have to do this for the next 5 minutes, what speed would you go at? That's a good reference. So you should be able to answer questions with a full sentence, not super long. Nice wide leg, right arm to your knee, up. Touch down, toes below the foot heel. So I'm going a little faster than before, but you want to have some speed left for your last round. So here, I want you to engage the glute. Reach with the heel. Down as you're reaching up. Last one, rebounder. Heels in front. We're going to start with that form, up nice and tall. Arms are going to go a little higher. That's about the only thing that's going to change here. I don't want you to sink into that low back, and I don't want those arms flinging around. Think of moving them through mud a little bit. Make sure you're breathing. You can rebound your way to the wall or to your chair, whichever one you're using. And let's press on the wall. I'm just going to go a little faster here. Lifting the knees up. So I was walking before. Now I'm going a little bit faster. It's like you're pushing something uphill. So watch that you're not sinking into those shoulders and your neck. Your eyes are just below your hands here on the wall. Breathe. I'm going to look down, but don't do that. You can look at the timer. Back to those nice and wide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Narrow in the center. As we're going faster, we're going to have a tendency to do this. Try to resist. Incline forward. If your hips are back, you're not going to fall back. So here, if you catch your heel, you're at least going to have the weight a little forward to prevent you from going back. All right, touch down. Left hand, your left hand to your right knee. Reach up, touch down. When you're touching down, think nice and light. Think there's a bunch of little eggs there, and you're trying to put your toes in between the eggs. And you don't want to squish them, so you're going nice and soft for that landing. Reach, use the glute here as you're reaching up. This is our last one. Rebounders in front. Up nice and tall. Arms a little higher than your shoulders. So I'm going just above my head. Make sure you're not flinging them. Make sure you're not reaching forward with your arms. Up nice and tall. Watch those hips. This happens. Keep that for a Friday night dance. Up nice and tall. Let's rebound our way to the wall. This is our last wall push for this one. Hands or fists on the wall. And you're pressing, going forward. Watch your shoulder blades. I don't want them to sink into your back. I don't want you to be rounded either. Engage them so you got a nice strong back and you're pressing. Listen to your feet. If you're feeling that pressure into your back of your leg or your feet, release the pressure on the wall a little bit. Okay, so you do what you can for today. It's almost over, and there you go. Relax those shoulders. You're gonna find your heartbeat. Get ready, and count. Stop. Okay, so it should have gone up by 1, maybe 2, some people 3 or 4, and that's okay. It's hard to judge at first. So depending on how much it went up, I want you to think about bringing it up by 1 more. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you'll feel like you're working much harder and your heartbeat does not reflect that. And that's okay too, but we're just going to try and increase it a little bit. Again, do not compromise your form for this speed. You like the wall too, that's great. So you might feel that a little bit tomorrow into the back of your legs. We're going to do our last one. I'm going to go faster. Again, you do what you can for today. I'm going to add a little bounce to the rebounder. Feel free to keep it without the impact. The side touchdown, again, I'm just going to go faster. Don't fling yourself around. Keep it nice and control. I'm going to add some resistance to it. So grab some water if you need to. I have no idea what I did with mine, so we'll keep going. One more time. Wide forward and narrow back. Get ready. Everything's engaged here. You're not flopped around. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Narrow. Incline forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Narrow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you know your speed and the width of your mat, the length of your mat. Make sure you're lifting those knees up, lifting those heels up. Keep that incline forward. You're not sinking here. Good. And back to center. Your right hand, to your left knee. And up, down, up. Now think of moving that hand through some mud. You're pulling up, pulling down, pull up, pull, pull. Press with that heel. Engage your glutes here. Because your quad is working when you're landing. Keep it soft. Breathe. Last one. Good. Rebounders in front. Up nice and tall. Now I'm going to add that little hop. Arms. Same height as they were for the second round. Now if you're getting out of breath, bring your arms lower. Watch those hips, nice and tall in the middle. They're staying in place here. Rebound your way to the wall. And hands on the wall. We're going to run this time. So you can walk it or run. Listen to your feet here. This is really different. So listen to how your feet feel. If the running does not agree with you, push less into the wall. Bring yourself a little bit more vertical. Okay? So you can try and run, pushing something uphill. Breathe. And bring it back to center. Those nice wide forward. 2, 3, 4. Narrow back. Pay attention to the back. We don't want anybody to fall. Sometimes we get carried away with the speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to count. Depending on the speed that you're going, it gets confusing. Count to your 4. Running back. And touchdown. Nice and wide. Your left hand, right knee, up. So you're barely touching the floor here. Basically, our transition is much faster, but pull with that arm. Pull up, pulling down, pulling up. Work the glute here. Press, press. Breathe. Make sure you're not collapsing. Rebounders in front here. Adding the jump or keep walking down. If you're walking down, you need more arms a little higher. Make sure you're not sinking into that low back. We got 10 more seconds of rebounder. Watch those hips till the end. Make your way to the wall. This is our last time on the wall. And hands down and run. So here, eyes are on the wall just below your hands. So you're running where you're pushing something. So you're not running as fast as you would if you were standing without the wall. Listen to your feet. If they start to be uncomfortable, bring it up. And there we go. All right, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Find your heartbeat. Get ready. Count. So you can see if you brought it up a little bit, or if it's the same, then judge it how you're breathing. See if you feel like, no, I did work harder. So that happens. Sometimes it's also hard to count on that last one. Okay, excuse me. So this is the end of the first part. So you got a good workout. You work your abs, you work your shoulders, your back, and your arms by adding that and pushing into the wall. Legs, obviously. So you got a great workout, but I'm going to add some strength training to it. And so now that your body is burning calories in overdrive, let's help it burn a little bit more or faster. All right, I'm going to lower my camera. And we're going to go to the ground. So have your yoga mat ready. And I said have some weight. If you do not have weight, have an elastic. If you don't have either one of those things, do not worry about it. I have different options. So sometimes it's different. Using your body weight or using external weights. You just work the same muscle group in a different way. So we're going to do bridges. If you don't have the weights or the elastic, you're going to add some resistance to it. You can also do them single leg. We're doing 10, so you can do 5 per leg up, right? So if you have your one leg up, the other leg is going to work harder. So that's one way to increase the resistance. Okay, so here, I want you to be on your back into that neutral position. So place your shoulder blades in the little pocket. Have your elastic or your weight ready. My weights are just on the sides here. So bridge, I'm going to grab the weights here, but we're going to press into the heel and lifting up as we exhale, bringing it down. When you're lifting up, I want your weight to be in the top of your back. Here, not into your neck. I don't want the pinching into the low back. If you had to answer someone and you feel like your voice is changing, you went way too high and you'd feel pressure in the back of your head. We don't want that. So if you have an elastic, no weight, I like to fold it in half here. And you're going to put it on your hips. I'm going to roll that off. So on your hips here, and you're going to hold it down. You're going to press against the elastic to do your bridge. Okay? No elastic, no weight. One leg, you're going to do 5, then the other leg. You have weights. You can pick heavy enough. I got 2 15 pounds, so 10 to 15 pounds would be good. You're going to use the same weights to do chest press after. If you have lower weights, that's okay. So just whatever you're using here, you're going to use the same for your bridge. So here I'm going to grab my weights and then I'm going to put them with my knuckles on my hip bones. So the way I'm holding my weight, the front here is against my hip bones, so I don't have the metal stuck to my hip bones and it's not so painful. So we're going to inhale, next exhale, lifting those hips up, pelvic floor in. Inhale down, we're doing 10, 2, 3, and you're going to go up to about tabletop, not higher, 4, because if you go higher, you're going to have that pinching into the low back, 5, touch here to reset, make sure you're pressing into the upper back, not into the back of your head. Breathe out as you lift. This is 7. Pelvic floor in, squeezing the glute. 8, 9, and 10. Good. Weights are down. We're going to go into a chest press here. So if you have the weights, you're going to go straight here. I want those elbows at 90 degrees. And whenever you are done with those chest press, make sure you bring your elbows in to lower your weights. So that, because if I'm here and I do this, it's really bad for these muscles here. If you have an elastic, you're going to put it right underneath your back here. Holding it. Now make sure your wrists are not all crooked, so straight wrist. And you're going to press up and down. Now, no weight, no elastic. You can pretend, but that's kind of harder, you're going to give me a wide push-up. So I want you to work the same muscle. So imagine if you have the weight and you're doing that chest press, you're going to be here and going chest towards the ground and up. This is going to work the same muscle chain. All right, so whatever equipment you have. Okay, that's awesome, Kevin. Okay, so feet close to your hips and then lifting the weights up. You're going to make sure your wrists are not all crooked here, so stack those wrists. Elbows at 90, let's inhale, exhale above your chest. Inhale down. Now you can touch those elbows on the floor because you won't go too far. The floor is just behind here. Make sure you're not bringing the elbows up towards your ears. So they're staying just a little below your shoulders. I believe that's 5, but 6. So you know better what you're doing. 7, exhale up. 8, when you're exhaling, think about that pelvic floor in. 9 and 10. Okay, let's bring it down. Elbows in and lower. Now, if you don't have the weight, now you're going to relax your wrist and give me some tricep push-ups. So that means your elbows are right next to your ribs. I want your elbows to touch the side of your shirt here. And you're going to do, again, 10 push-ups or do what you can. They are harder than what we are doing here. So do, if you do 5, that's fine. Here, if you have the elastic, you're going to put it under your heels. Your feet, sorry, you're going to hold the elastic here and you're going to pull back behind you and in, okay? So I don't want anything here to move. The back is not lifting. You're pulling back. You're going to feel that in your tricep. If you have the weights, let's grab 1. Now here, I like to wrap it, so I'll show you. So I grab it over my belly here and I wrap it, so I'm holding the end of the weight here, really solid, so I'm not afraid to drop it on my head. Okay, so back is in neutral. As you're bringing the weight back, it's going to want to curve up. Don't let it. Work those abs to maintain it in place. So we're going to exhale as we're bringing it back. Pelvic floor in. Now, if you have the weight, you can touch it just behind your head. Bring it up and bring it back. Bending your elbows. It's not going very far, you're going slow. So if you decided that you're not going far enough, if you're going slow, you're going to touch your head. It's not going to hurt. Just don't go fast. Nice and control. Pelvic floor in, exhaling. Now, if you picked a weight and you're like, this is too heavy, I can only do 7. Do 7. At the rate I'm counting anyways, I'm talking. Who knows? I believe this is 6 and 7, 8, 9. Now here, as I'm going back, I'm asking you to exhale because it's really hard on your abs to bring it back. I want that control for your back and your ab muscles. All right, let's go back to those bridges. So grabbing the weights or the elastic or doing one leg bridge at a time. Let's inhale, exhale, press up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Now here, you're working your abs as well, working your back muscles, your core, and 5, as well as your legs. 6, don't push in the back of your head. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Weights on the floor. Let's replace the back into that neutral position. Bend those elbows, bring them up so they're just below the line of your shoulders. I don't want them up here, just below. Okay, so if I look sideways, I should easily see my whole arm. Make sure your wrists are not crooked here. You're nice and solid. And let's inhale, exhale up. So typically you're going to exhale as you're lifting weights up. You're working your core here, maintaining it in place. Working your arms, chest. 4. Because if you're all soft here, it's really hard to keep those arms moving. 5. You might be at 6 because I talk too much. 6. 7. Control the down. Don't let your arms just fall down. 8. Again, if you picked heavy weight, 9, and you're like, I can only do 7. Do 7. 10. Good. Elbows in. Let's drop those weights down. Drop one on the floor. Grab the other on your belly. Now wrap it really nicely, or you put the elastic behind your shoulders. Under your feet. It was behind your shoulders. And let's bring that weight up above you. Adjust your hands so when your weight is above your belly. So if it falls, it's not going to be pleasant, but it's not going to hurt too much. Now, let's set our core into that neutral position and inhale. Next, exhale, bringing it behind you, nice and control. Inhale. Two. 3. Make sure you're not pressing in the back of your head. 4. 5. 6. Remember, you can add resistance. If you get to 6 or 7, you're like, I can do 15 of those or 20. 8. Add the resistance. Pretend you're pressing back against something. 9. 10. Good, let's bring that down. I forgot to say, if you have 5-pound weights here, you can use the 2 5-pounds together as you're bringing this back so that you don't have to add the resistance. Okay, one more round and then that's it. So we're already cooled down. Doesn't seem like we did that big cardio anymore. So let's place our back into that neutral position, pressing into your heels. Let's inhale, exhale, up. Inhale, down. Exhale, pelvic floor in, up. Now pay attention to your knees. Make sure as you're pressing up here that they're not trying to open or they're wobbly. So a little bit more awareness for your legs, pressing up. This is great if you have knee pain. You should be able to do this exercise, and it's great to help for that. 7, 8, make sure you're not pressing in the back of your head. 9, and 10. Good. Weights down. Let's bend those elbows. Or put the elastic behind your back, or give me a nice wide push-up. And elbows open. Again, you do what you can. Let's inhale, exhale, pressing up. Inhale, down. Exhale, up. Pelvic floor in as you're exhaling. 3. Watch those wrists. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And one more. And 10. Good. Let's bring the elbows down. Elbows by your sides. Drop the weights. Drop one off to the side. If you have 2 smaller weights, keep them both. Push them one against the other. If you have a heavier weight, place it on your belly. Wrap your hands around. No weight. Remember, elbows have to touch your sides when you're doing that push-up. It is so much harder. It's like the Pilates push-up. So it is much harder than the wide one. So do the ones you can. When you start feeling that in your low back, take a break. You've done enough. So wrapping your hands around the weight, replace your back in that neutral position. Inhale, let's exhale, pelvic floor in, engaging those abs to maintain that position. So you should feel that in the triceps, so the muscles behind in the back of your arms. But you should also feel that here. As you're going back, you should feel those abs working because your back wants to do this. And we're working hard to keep it in place. And 5. And 6. Seven. And 8. Remember, not pressing into the low back, pelvic floor in as you exhale. And last one. All right, let's bring that weight down. And let's put it down. Let's come up to a sitting position. And wow, timing is pretty good. All right. No push-ups. I know those tricep push-ups are so hard. I like the weights because then we can work towards reinforcing these muscles and feel, it feels different, but you're working the same muscles. It just feels more rewarding, I find, when we can do 10 reps with the weights than if I can do 3 push-ups. Although you're working really hard, so you should feel great, but somehow doing it with the weights sometimes feels really nice. Okay, and then we're working towards reinforcing that, so your push-ups are going to be awesome. So we're going to sit here, you're going to relax your shoulders, and we're going to take one leg, let's bring it back here a little bit. You're going to give me a little relaxation for your hips. So I like the pace whenever we're finishing off. It's like you're doing a cool down as you're doing your strength workout because your body is slowly calming down. So it's active recovery. You're going to grab the back ankle, this end wherever you need to. I want you to engage here, like somebody's got a hand here and the other person, well, no. One person's holding here and here at the same time. And so then you're pulling your leg back against this resistance so that you're stretching your quad. If not, I can go to here and then it's really uncomfortable on my back. Relax, shift the hips a little bit. And grab your ankle, engage, and let's press back, pull back. Let's bring it to the front. We're going to stretch our glute a little bit. So leg is in front. I want you to lengthen out of your hips, walking it forward. Till you find that nice little stretch into your glute here, and then walk it towards where the toes are pointing. And back to center. Let's grab your other leg, bring it behind you. And give me a little shift here. So with the wide push-ups and the chest press, you might feel these muscles here a little bit. Eccentrics is going to be great for that tomorrow. Engage here. If you can't do the eccentric, do that chair stretch that I said. Little pull and release, relax. And let's grab our ankle and gently pull it back. And let's bring it forward. Let's gently pulling up out of the hips and walking it forward. And in the directions that your toes are pointing. And let's walk it in. Relax those shoulders. Let's bring your hands next to you. You've got a little round back here. Lifting behind, sweeping forward. Relax your shoulders up. Now here, I want you to open up those arms nice and wide, sending your elbows, no sinking into the low back. And extend your arms, your fingers. And relax your shoulders and dropping your chin towards your chest. Give me a gentle roll to one side, center, and the other side. And center, I hope you enjoyed the workout today. Feel free to ask questions if you have any. And I'll see you tomorrow in the Centrex. Take care.